That's the fun.
It's time. It's time. Look, they're here.
Hey guys, and welcome to tonight's video.
She forgot our names.
They know who we are.
I told Tiffany, tonight you have to do the intro. They hear me do it every week. Just that this week is your week. And she says, hi, we're here.
All right, so we have Billy. Says, afternoon, Chris and Tiffany. Andre's here. Hey, family. Andre would like to know if we've heard anything about Port Baltimore going to open. Robert's here. California Linda's here. Attila says Friday we'll hear more about Baltimore. They want to move the bridge off
The Dolly. That's the
the
ship.
Dolly. Yeah, this week, and then move Dolly out of the channel. Then they'll be able to completely open the channel for ships.
And there you go. That is probably the best answer. I heard that there was supposed to be a meeting this week. The Coast Guard and everybody was supposed to be involved to put out more information. That is probably some of the information that came out of that, but I hadn't heard anything official yet. I know they're working on it. I know lots of people are curious about, how fast can we get to Baltimore? What is going on with cruising? The cruise lines, just remember, they're at the mercy of everybody else. They want to go back. They want to get back. But until the Baltimore says you can, they're kind of caught in a limbo there. And so I know people aren't getting a whole bunch of notice, 4 or 5 days at most sometimes. There's a sailing going out on the 12th. But for at least for now, I would say the cruise on the 12th probably is going to go out of Norfolk. Just a guess, though.
Just Cody's here. Welcome. Hey, Chris and Tiffany. Tiffany, hope y'all have been doing well. Can't even say my own name right now. Ray, hello from Judy and Ray, Nags Head, North Carolina.
All right, good evening. Welcome, everybody. Give everybody a chance to hop on in here. We were just a couple minutes late getting started this morning because 4 minutes before the show was supposed to start, the computer said, I want to reboot.
This evening.
What did I say?
This morning.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't even know what time of day it is, apparently. It's been that kind of day. But I know we got folks that are out on cruises right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have folks with upcoming cruises.
Sheikah's out on a cruise, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I do believe so.
They'll probably wait longer to invite Carnival back to give priority to the cargo vessel backlog. I'm just guessing.
That would make sense. I mean, it honestly would make sense. Get those cargo ships moving as quickly as possible. I know as much as important as cruising is to everybody and the people that are going to be on those cruises, it's at the very top of their list. But, I guess when you're looking at the big economic picture, it makes sense to move the cargo ships first, get the port back fully in business, get that stuff flowing again, and then bring the cruise ship back in last.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably is honestly one of the lower priorities, but unfortunately with that kind of tragedy, sometimes it is what it is, and that's not what everybody wants to hear, but it's part of cruising.
Yes.
Definitely get the ups and downs and the changes and the left and rights that come with cruising. What else we got, baby?
Attila the Fun says, hi, y'all. Just Cody says to California Linda, hope you've been doing amazing. And life is good.
Yeah, let everybody check in. So it has been a bit of a bizarre week for cruising, I guess. Pretty much the majority of the cruise stories that I've talked about this week have all just been some oddball stories. I mean, we got a French guy who shimmies down the side of an MSC cruise ship on a rope. And then I got a story coming out in the morning of a crew member who did some stabby.
Yes.
Went and stabbed a cruise passenger and some fellow crew members. So that one should be a little thought-provoking, I think. I don't want to give too much away, though.
Yeah.
Since that video will be out in the morning.
Desiree's here. Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Ray says would still rather cruise from Virginia, but that's us.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much that they, want to cruise necessarily from Baltimore more than they want to cruise from Virginia. I'm sure some people love cruising. Everybody's got their favorite cruise port. I think it's more of the not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
To be 4 days out from your cruise, 5 days out from your cruise, and not actually know where you're going to embark and disembark. It can be a little nerve-wracking. It honestly can be. So I get the anxiety levels and the stress levels on the cruise passenger side with that. I think if Carnival might have been better off, going, okay, for this cruise, and this cruise, it's going to be Norfolk, and just lock it in and put it out there. And then we'll reevaluate as we get closer. I think it might have eased people's minds if they would have just made a determination earlier and said, okay, this is what we're going to do, and this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I think that would have caused people just less stress in trying to picture that. Because, I mean, I get it. If we were going on a cruise and we didn't know where we were going to leave from, do we need to leave from here? Do we need to leave from over here? If you're flying, and all that kind of stuff, it's
a little bit of a travel headache.
Yeah, it's definitely a travel headache. Because especially with airlines, if you're flying in and now you've gotten down to the last 4 or 5 days before your cruise and you still don't have a definite answer, now you're way deep into airline penalties and cancellation fees, and you can no longer move your flights and things like that. That, again, it's not the cruise line's fault, but it affects people at that point.
James is here, says hello everyone. Hope everybody's doing well tonight.
We are doing well. Hopefully you're doing well, James. Hopefully not too much pain. Everything is going good on your side with that.
Yes.
We know you're still in recovery mode. Well, yeah, there's just a couple of things going on there. The Celebrity Edge, well, she's under investigation.
Oh.
Apparently, she got a little too close to a Hawaii no-no zone. Doing some cruising around Hawaii. It was supposed to be 3,000 meters. I think it's meters. Yards, feet, something off of shore. And they are believing she was about 1,000 off of shore. So she was, way closer than she was supposed to be. And of course, there's video and pictures, and people were reporting it in because there's a lot of protected areas and waters around Hawaii, and it looks like the Edge may have accidentally strayed into some no-no zones, but that's under investigation, so we don't know exactly what's going on with that yet, other than she's being looked at. And I am curious about that one because cruise ships normally don't stray off course. They're computer controlled. You can dang near put in the autopilot and it will just go where it's supposed to go. So if she got that far off course, the curious question is why. The last serious off course cruise ship that I remember was the Concordia. And we all know what happened to that poor ship. She struck a rock and tilted over on her side, cost people their lives. But because the captain was trying to show off for his girlfriend who was not supposed to be on the bridge. And I'm not saying anything like that happened with the Celebrity Edge, but, it usually takes a deliberate act these days to get the ship that far off, unless there's some kind of strong wind or mechanical failure or something like that would have caused the ship to drift. So
James says, just chilling, waiting on surgery the 28th. Have good days and bad days.
I'm sure. I said, I know that's a painful thing. So, but Carnival Vista, surprise, surprise, engine trouble again. She actually had to stay in port a little longer, a little extra before she was able to get back underway, with Carnival citing a technical issue. And we've learned the decoding of technical issue means there is something wrong with my Azipod.
Yes.
And the Vista is notorious for engine problems, along with her sister ships, the Horizon and the Panorama. All of them have gone into emergency dry dock at least once for engine issues. But the Vista was able to get underway. She just wasn't able to leave, I believe it was San Juan, until about 3 a.m. in the morning. So hopefully it was something minor, easily corrected, and will not affect anything in the future. But I said, when it's an engine Azipod story, I don't know, they don't have a tendency to be quick and fast.
No. Andre wants to know if it's best to book your flight with the cruise line or on your own.
Well, so there's pluses and minuses to that. And understand, this is my personal opinion. If you book it with the cruise line, of course, you get that guarantee with the cruise line that says if you don't get to your ship on time, they are responsible for getting you to your next port and getting you on board that ship as soon as possible. And if you book through the cruise line, a couple things to remember is you have to pay attention to what they book you in for. You have to get them to change it the way you want it, which most of them can. But if you let them run of their own accord, they will try to fly you in the day of the cruise. They're notorious for automatically wanting you to go in the day of the cruise. So that's something you got to watch. But it does come with that guarantee that they will get you to the cruise ship versus booking on your own. If you're booking on your own, you, of course, have more airline choices. You can sometimes get better prices, especially if you are more flexible with your travel arrangements. Me personally, I book it separate, and that's just because I want to control when we fly and how we fly. I want to pick the times that we get there and the times that we fly home based on what we want to do at that cruise port and kind of take the cruise line out of it. But if you book on your own for airfare, you got to pay for it right then and there. And a lot of times when you book, depending on which type of booking or fare you book through the cruise lines, a lot of times though, you can add the price of that ticket onto the cruise fare and not have to pay it till final payment date. So I would say there's advantages to both. I don't know that necessarily one is better than the other. I would say it's more or less what you like to do. You know, you're not going to get those $49 Southwest Airlines seats booking through the cruise line. That's not going to be one of your choices.
Mm-mm.
So there are cheaper options to do it yourself, but you also don't have that. My plane got canceled. Now I'm going to be late. Security blanket that you get through booking through the cruise line. So I would say it could go either way. What do you think?
I just show up.
Translation. She goes, I don't book. I just go.
I just show up. You told me when to be there, and I'm there.
Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah. So, just Cody likes your Groove for St. Jude shirt.
Yeah, got this the last time we were on.
Breeze.
No, we didn't do it on the Breeze.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't. This would have been Vista.
We did it when we.
That one did not for the Halloween one. We didn't because the shirts have been the same for so many years. They're different now. So when we go on the Miracle, you can do Groove for St. Jude and get a different shirt. We may have done it, but we didn't get shirts this last time.
No, we got the Bears because we sent them to the grandkids.
I'm positive that was a cruise before.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think that was the Vista. When she wasn't having engine trouble.
Yeah. James says, I agree. I like to book my own and for the most part arrive a day early.
Yeah, no, yeah. If I'm flying, for sure, 100%, if I'm flying, it's always at least a day early. And if it's someplace I've never ever been before, usually it's 2 days early because we'll want to see where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we spent 2 days wandering around Seattle last time just because we'd never been there.
Yeah.
And plus it gives you such a nice cushion. You know, we know all the trips and we know all the trips and I can't say it. We know all the tricks and tips to getting there correctly. Wow. I'm having tongue-tie problems. But that's one of my biggest cruising fears. I guess, I'm not scared of the ocean. I'm not scared of the waves or the weather or anything like that. I'm utterly scared that one day we walk out to the cruise pier to get on our ship and it's not there. And I plan accordingly for that fear.
Yes.
So.
Tella says, go a day early and book our own flights.
Mm-hmm. For me, I just have more control that way.
Ray wants to know what kind of background checks do they do for the employers? Seems that this guy is nutso.
I mean, they do background checks the same as we do them like here in the United States. But the one thing about background checks, and I'll use me for an example, because, I've been in the military and government and stuff like that. So they've done background checks on me. And this is purely hypothetical. None of it's true. But they could do all the background checks in the world, but if you have some kind of issue that you've never been caught for, it's never going to show up on a background check. Yeah. That's the catch with that. You know, you could be a serial killer, and if you've never ever been caught or even suspected that it was you and they run a background check, it's not going to come back and go serial killer.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about background checks. If you remember, I mean, if they've never been caught for it, it's never ever going to show up, no matter how hard they're really looking. There's been, you know, especially on cruising lately, those stories pop up. They were actually Disney crew members on board Disney cruise ships. Several of them have been caught recently with child pornography on Disney cruise ships. They got reported and they started checking personal devices, and it started popping up amongst crew members. I want to say there's been a couple of them that have been arrested for that on board Disney cruise ships where there's lots of kids. But again, if they've never got caught with it, how would they know?
Very true.
You know, the ones on Royal Caribbean that have been hiding cameras in public bathrooms. In one, they found a hidden camera in the restroom in a cabin. Again, if they've never been caught for it, how would anybody know? So while I think background checks are good, I don't know that there is a way to guarantee that somebody's not going to have a problem, you know, 6 months down the road, or they're going to learn something new or have some kind of psychotic break. You know, especially for crew members. Crew members are the ones that worry me the most. Because, I mean, how many times a day can someone shove their sign and sale card in your face and go, but I'm platinum, do my bidding now. I mean, how many days a week can you hear that before, you know, you throw a passenger over the side?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Very true.
You know, you can only kick the dog so many times before he turns around and bites you. Just saying.
California Linda shares, if we're flying domestically, we fly Southwest. Chris is correct. Airlines try to book everyone in a block format. Sorry. We always book our own flights, and then asks what hotels. I'm a little lost there. Question, what hotels?
Like, what hotels do we book when we go there? I look for the interesting ones, or one we've never stayed at before, honestly. I am a visual shopper.
I'm a food shopper.
Yeah, Tiffany wants to know if they serve breakfast. And for me, I usually flip through the pictures and I catch the one that catches my eye. Ooh, this one looks interesting. And then I look at it and I go through, figure out one I want. And that's usually how I book them, which is how we end at ones that we can't even pronounce the name of sometimes and are one-offs. And it's by doing exactly that. Heck, one time we were randomly driving through Wyoming. We were heading to Montana, but we needed a place to stay. And we randomly saw a log cabin hotel.
And we stayed there?
And I can't remember. I want to say it was Sheridan, maybe? Was that the name of the town? Something like that. But yeah, we're like, oh, look, a log cabin hotel. So we stopped and stayed in a log cabin hotel because I liked it, the way it looked. So when it comes to hotels, but we also do take recommendations because I know the recommendations we've gotten for Port Canaveral, I've already looked at that one and I've already forgotten the name of the hotel, but I have it saved already. So, but the Radisson. Yeah. It's 1 mile from the cruise port. But Tiffany is going to not want to stay at that hotel. I can tell you that already. It serves no breakfast.
Yeah. I like the breakfast.
Yeah. She wants one that's going to serve her food.
Rick is here, says howdy cruisers.
Hello, Rick.
Bajarn is here. Hello, everyone. Andre says, so what happens if they cruise to Canada and the employee background come back with charges? They shouldn't be onboarding them until their background check.
Yeah, their background checks have to clear prior to embarkation. Everything I've seen, that they have to go through a whole process before they're ever assigned to a ship. My understanding, it takes weeks and sometimes months from applying, getting the job, going through all of the stuff, getting the passports and visas and everything that's needed to you actually get assigned to a ship. And all of that is done ahead of time.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to be pretty much ready to go by the time they actually hit the ship.
Well, that's any company. They will not onboard you until your background check comes back, if that's a requirement for
Mhm.
employment. What
There you go. Yeah, here you go, Tiffany. That one's for you.
I know.
That one's for you. Answer him. Answer him, baby. Come on.
I'm legit. That's a good question. And the answer right now, I don't know.
I've been asking her that for a while.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Now, I will give her a little bit of leeway here. Our schedules have been wonky lately. So it has been hard for her to get here into the studio and work, because a lot of times I'm doing other work in the studio at the same time. So, but I think she needs to get back to it too. She's supposed to also be cooking the recipes from cruise ships.
Yes, and that's hard because you and I never have a day off together anymore.
That's true too.
And I can't film that and do that at the same time.
You just hold it on a stick.
I know a lot of people do that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll play with it. Might as well. I'm already cooking.
That's right.
California Linda said, I was asking about the Seattle area before removing the question. So we stayed almost downtown Seattle.
Yeah, we stayed at the
Citizen Inn.
the Citizen
I
M,
don't recommend it.
which we don't recommend.
Not unless you want to feel like you're in college.
Yeah, in Seattle, downtown Seattle was not really our cup of tea. It was nice. It was cool to see and everything like that. But downtown Seattle, like a lot of big cities, needs some attention.
It needs some TLC.
Yeah, it needs some TLC.
Mariner of the Seas had her inaugural sailing out of Galveston a few days ago.
I've been watching Mariner of the Seas. She is one of the ones I want to jump on. And Mariner of the Seas is running some fairly inexpensive cruises. I mean, some of the best price cruises going out of Galveston, honestly, are on Mariner of the Seas. I've seen her cruises down as low, especially come this fall, like $200, $250 per person for a short cruise. And the way cruise prices are, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. I mean, she's not going anywhere special. You know, it's 3 or 4 day cruise, Cozumel back, Costa Maya, that type of situation. But if you want a short Galveston cruise and just a cruise, Mariner of the Seas is probably the place to look for price wise. She's got some good prices, but she's an older ship. She's a smaller ship. And in today's world of, big giant bells and whistles and flashing lights and neons and sparklies and all that kind of good stuff. To those who don't know any better, she looks like a dull, item in the corner, but those of us that know smaller ships like smaller ships and things like that can appreciate a good $250 person cruise on Mariner of the Seas.
Rick says he's booked next April for a birthday cruise
Next
on Mariner.
April. Yeah. Unfortunately, with May, our what we got going on in May is we're gonna have to have some pad time before and after May. That one right there. Tiffany's birthday trip this year is a big ouch.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna be good though. It's gonna be fun and everything like that. But it's a big ouch, and you gotta prepare for the big ouch. She's going on a Disney cruise and to Disney World. Disney just it's Count Dracula and the blood bank.
Yeah.
Sucking it right out of your wallet faster than you can put it in sometimes.
California Linda shares we have never cruised out of Seattle, and I was just asking.
Yeah, Seattle had some nice things. If it was us, we would have picked a different hotel in a slightly different area next time. If you're selling like Norwegian, there's a hotel, and I forget, I want to say it's a Hilton maybe or a Hyatt that's literally across the street from the cruise port if you're sailing out of Norwegian. That one looked pretty nice and super convenient, real close to the Pike's Place Market, the Starbucks there in Seattle. was just right behind it across the street. I think a lot of our first time to Seattle, we didn't pick the best area for us
No,
that we like the best, I would say. But
we know for next time.
yeah, I mean, it's the fun of traveling, though. It's the lessons learned, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Connie says Tiffany deserves the best.
so she tells me. So she tells me. Don't you?
No.
Really? So what do you want for birthday shit? Take me to see Mickey Mouse.
No, you asked me what I wanted for dinner. I said I want to go to Epcot.
To eat dinner with Mickey Mouse.
Yes. That's how that whole conversation got started.
That's the same, yeah. That's the same thing. But in all fairness, Mother's Day is coming up here on the 12th,
That would be
this Sunday.
this Sunday.
And I wanted Tiffany to have a super easy day on Sunday, not have to worry about anything. So I let her know ahead of time, as long as she gets, all the laundry and the dishes and the house cleaned on Saturday, then she can have Sunday off. I mean, that sounded fair, right?
That is why I'm going to work on Sunday.
That's a joke. I'm about to get hate mail.
You're about to get tore up.
I'm going to get canceled by the woke. He said, do dishes. He's out of here.
James says those hotels near the port there in Seattle are very expensive.
A lot of things in Seattle were very expensive at the time. For us, it was a shock.
Yes. Even going to Subway, I mean, it was going to cost us $50 just to eat at the Subway.
Yeah. Now nowadays, that's pretty common.
It's pretty common no matter where you live. But
at
last
that particular,
year, it didn't seem like it was.
yeah, at that particular time, we were used to Texas prices, and what things cost here in Texas is way different than what they cost over on the West Coast. And for us, had never been on the West Coast, we were a little bit like, say what? You want to charge me how much for that? But it was still an awesome experience.
Yeah, I'd do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I would still do it again. I would even go to Seattle again. I just would do it a little differently.
Yeah.
And I know what to expect this time, and that helps.
Ray says, next time through North Carolina, stop at the Mullen Home Bed and Breakfast. I make a mean sausage and biscuits.
Well, we should be heading. Every year we keep trying to get up there to North Carolina. We had a couple times we were supposed to go up there in the last year, and we make plans and something goes sideways. And something has gone sideways every time we were supposed to get up there. We got new grandbabies to go see. It's definitely on the list. It's just getting something locked in right now is hard.
Yeah.
It is honestly hard. But yeah, let's see, what is that? Mullen Home Bed and Breakfast. They make a mean sausage and biscuits. All right, hold on. What kind of gravy did you put on your sausage and biscuits? I've heard rumors about people not in the South that the gravy might be the wrong color. I'm just saying. I'm not racist against gravy, but I'm just saying.
All I know is my sister moved from South Texas to Montana.
That fit.
One extreme to another. And the first time she went out to eat, she about lost her mind and told the waitress off because she wanted her sweet tea. And they looked at her and said, the sugar packet's right there. You can sweeten it yourself.
Oh, no.
And she asked for chicken fried steak, and they brought it out with brown gravy. And she said, it's white gravy.
Yeah, well, remember when we went, Rebecca took us to a place to have breakfast in North Carolina for chicken and waffles.
Yes.
And she said they do chicken and waffles with either the syrup, like a breakfast, or you can get it with gravy.
And she warned
And she warned me ahead. She said, Dad, before we go inside, that gravy's not white. That's brown. She goes, don't go to cussing in the middle of this restaurant.
No milk, white gravy. So
no white gravy?
No white gravy, or no, it is white gravy.
Yeah, that's got to be the See, because in the South, we're particular about our gravy color. And if it goes on a biscuit, it's white. If it goes on a chicken fried steak, it's white.
The only thing brown gravy is used for is
Brown meat. Like a pot roast.
yeah.
Like a stew.
We don't even put it on mashed potatoes around here. It's
Yeah.
California Linda shares grandma always had chocolate gravy for the grandchildren.
That sounds very desserty and could, I'm taking it as the kind like they had on Carnival, used to have the chocolate extravaganza where you go stick the fruit in the chocolate fountain. That's what I picture and she's
Ray
talking
said,
about.
no, it is white gravy.
Okay. Then we're on the same page. I just got to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm not judging anybody else by what color their gravy is.
No.
If you like it brown, that's fine. For those that do, it's just in the South. There's just it's almost like a law.
Yeah, in the South, you don't put sugar in the tea when the tea comes to you already in the glass. It's sweet tea. It's already got sugar in it.
Yeah, you remember when our daughter Rebecca, she joined the Navy, and the first place they sent her to, the station was in Florida.
Stationed, yeah.
Station was in Florida, and that is the very first thing she said. She goes, "They don't have any damn sweet tea here." But we've also had some interesting food adventures. We were in Wyoming and asked for macaroni and cheese one night, and it turned out that macaroni and cheese had corn and something else in it.
Peas.
Corn and peas in it. They called it hillbilly macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, we've told them this story.
Oh, okay. We've told the hillbilly.
Yeah.
Thank you, James. I always forget that part. But we're way off topic. We're talking about biscuits and gravy and everything else. And none of this has anything to do with cruising.
We always get off topic.
None of this has anything to do with cruising.
Ray said it's okay. Y'all are invited anytime.
Just to top up, I did eat the brown gravy on the chicken and waffles, by the way, because my daughter said, "Dad, just eat it. You'll be okay." It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
She was accurate in that statement, but she did have to convince me that I was going to go that route. She was like, "Good." She knew me, though. She knew he's not going to accept that one too much.
Yeah.
Not off face value. So, what else has gone on in cruising? Come on, have I told you anything this week? I left Tiffany to study everything this week. And
It's not as thick or sweet. It's a low chocolate gravy for grandchildren and white gravy.
oh, okay. Whoops. That's all right. You know what I learned this week? Completely off topic again. I learned how to make Reese's peanut butter cups at the house. It's only 3 ingredients, and you have Reese's peanut butter cups in your house. Share that out there too. But all you need is peanut butter, melting chocolate, and powdered sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make a Reese's peanut butter cup in your house.
If you like Reese's peanut butter.
If you like Reese's peanut butter cups. But I thought I'd share that because I discovered that completely randomly this week. And I made Reese's peanut butter cups. And Tiffany said, "Oh, what the hell is all this mess?" But see, I've learned a secret. If I make a really big enough mess, next time she'll do it for me. So yeah, the mess that doesn't exist. You were going to make some today, so I wouldn't make a mess.
No, I was going to make some today so that they were smaller.
Okay. She wants little ones. Mine might have been about this big around and about this thick. But I was learning.
Yes.
So, but that all comes from the fact I have a granddaughter who's
Is cooking with Chris.
I can cook meat. But if you want me to bake and do some other stuff like that, you never know what you're going to get. I can follow the directions and still have baking come out wrong. Horrendously wrong. The only reason I did the candy is because it was 3 ingredients and I mixed it in a bowl and you chocolate, peanut butter, chocolate, and that's it. And let's be honest, even then mine were rough. I had thick parts of chocolate, little peanut butter, all peanut butter, no chocolate. It was a delicious disaster.
They're all gone, so
That's what I said. It was delicious disaster.
we ate all of them, so it couldn't have been too bad.
No. No, not too bad at all. All right. Let's get back into it.
What's up with NCL and the canceling of Tortula stops?
NCL. It is a theme with NCL. It honestly is. According to due to recent guest feedback and to enhance the guest experience, to include things but not up to, or to include some things not up to, something like that. Fuel efficiency. That is the standard Norwegian form letter that I think we have seen for 2 years straight now.
So, and I could be way off. Clickbaiting. Kind of what that reminds me of, because they're telling you we're going to stop at all these stops. And then you pay for that. And then you get on this ship. And then you don't make those stops. Isn't that what you paid for?
Right, but that is becoming a Norwegian standard. And what bugs me about Norwegian,
they don't give you your money back.
Yeah, if they skip a stop, they're not going to give you back the port fees and taxes. That is a Norwegian problem. Because they did skip a port while we were on the Norwegian Prima. Now, it wasn't their fault. It was due to weather. But I still have not seen the port fees and taxes from that cruise yet.
Nope. You're not going to.
Yeah, and basically not going to. That part about it in particular, and it does, and I'd have to go in and find it, but it does say somewhere in the Norwegian contract about that. I know it's been brought up before, and Norwegian takes advantage of that. But it's becoming standard Norwegian speak to plan a cruise, set it all up, and then come back and go, well, due to guest feedback, which I still can't figure out what guest came on and said, hey, you know what would make this cruise so much better? Skip a port. Just don't go there at all. That would be best. So I don't know where that came from, but.
James says, well, Ray says fuel sounds as double speed. Bijarn, between the lines, it says we need to make more money.
That's what I hear too.
James says, yes, and I have cruised NCL 9 times and really looking to cruise with a new cruise line. Yes, very much becoming a thing with NCL.
And that's the problem. It is becoming consistent with NCL. And Tortola over there, they put out a statement about this, that they are really, really disappointed in Norwegian Cruise Lines for doing this. They've canceled 6 stops over there, and they estimate that these stops are, $100,000 plus stops for the local economy, between food and beverages and shopping and excursions. Tour operators that, are expecting this cruise ship to arrive are suddenly told, well, you're not going to have any business now for those 6 stops. And for Tortola, the wintertime is their busiest season versus the summertime. It's fewer ships. Fewer calls come in, and a bulk of them over the summertime were Norwegian Cruise Lines. So Norwegian Cruise Lines not only is doing their extra that they seem to be doing lately, they are also hurting the local economy for what essentially comes down to, hey, look, we can charge you the same price for this cruise, then tell you we're skipping the stops, not give you back your port taxes and fees, and save some fuel, which, I'm sorry, it does look like that's exactly like more money for our pocket, less for the passenger.
Rick says, and yet NCL is building 8 ships. Those 8 ships, if they keep doing this, I have a feeling those 8 ships are going to be empty because people are going to quit cruising with NCL. As expensive as it's becoming, they're not getting their money back and they're canceling. I'd be mad. I understand why it got canceled, but
No, nobody does.
Huh?
No, nobody does.
No, I understand why ours got canceled.
Oh, okay.
Because of weather. But if I booked this cruise because I've never been to Tortola,
Mm-hmm.
and then they canceled it, yeah, I'd be highly.
That would make perfect sense if the fact NCL wasn't having record bookings like everybody else. So here's the problem with that, though. You can act as crappy as you want to your passengers, but they are continuing to excel and exceed on their bookings like everybody else.
But NCL, aren't they the ones that offer you the free 150 minutes
Well,
of Wi-Fi
sure.
and the free drink package?
but you got to pay for
But
it.
you got to pay for it later on down the road, and they make it all this. You do this, and we give you this, and this free. But then when you really stop and look at it, it's not.
But if they are booking at 100% capacity and higher, like the other cruise lines, while doing this to cruise passengers, sailing after sailing after sailing, why will NCL change? They continue to get away with it. They continue to not return port fees and taxes, and they get away with it. They cancel cruise ports, and they get away with it. They shorten port times like they did on our cruise, and they get away with it. And people still book them.
They switched our excursion.
And people continue to book them. So until people go no, and they stop booking NCL, and they start to see their occupancy levels go down, they're not going to change. They're not motivated to. None of the cruise lines right now are motivated to make any changes that will cost them money and benefit passengers unless they have to, because they're so far booked. It is almost impossible to get a berthing in a cabin here in 2024 unless you're looking for something specific. They're already selling them out quickly in 2025, and Royal Caribbean is already talking about they don't have enough cabins to sell for 2025 to meet demand. They're going to run out of cabins. If as long as the demand is high, the cruise lines are pretty much free to do what they want.
James says I've been to Tortola twice and love the island and their beaches.
Yeah, I haven't been there. I'd love to see it.
Says it sounds illegal to keep the port fees and taxes.
It does, and I have to look it up, but it's been brought up before, and I want to say it's somewhere in the Norwegian contract about that. I think they actually have it in their cruise contract where they can do that to you. But I need to confirm that, and I need to actually go through and read one of their contracts. But I think it's in their contract. They don't have to. I think you have to pitch a fit as a large group to get them to bend.
Yeah, because when we called and asked about it, they said we had to call Miami.
Yeah.
If the lines did the cutbacks at the restart, I get it. But what is going on now? A head scratcher.
It's all about money for their. I mean, it's a business. We all know it's a business, and they're going to run it with a business mentality. But that's all it is. It's profit, profit, profit. How much profit can we make? You know, how much money are we returning to our shareholders? That's all it is. Like all the other businesses out there, as much as we love cruising, they're no different than any of these other companies out there that are willing to do what they want to do and have to do to make more profit off the people. And that's just true. Here's a really silly example, but one that really caught me this week. I wanted waffles. So I went up, and I didn't want to make waffles. I just wanted to eat a waffle one morning. Tiffany was at work. I went up and bought a box of regular, plain old Eggo waffles at the store. I opened up that box. Someone tell me, when the heck did they get this thick? They used to be, a good-sized waffle. Now they are the thinnest I've ever seen them.
Yeah, you eat one or two waffles and you get full before. Now you got to eat the whole box and you're still hungry.
Yeah, and honestly, to me, a lot of stuff these cruise lines do is no different than seeing your waffles go to half as thick and start costing twice as much. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's unfortunately the economy we live in right now.
Still, the fund says free at sea doesn't include gratuities, which are pretty steep, which is okay to give the crew a little more support. But I want to decide.
Sorry, dog's knocking over the
Microphone.
Yeah, I mean, gratuities are, what was that? Gratuities, yeah, I mean, tipping has gotten out of control, period. I mean, it's out of control across the board. And at least we haven't seen any recent raises in the last few months of gratuities. But yeah, it would be nice. I mean, an ideal society, tipping should be exactly what it's supposed to be, which is the crew members are paid what they need to be paid, and they are tipped for the extra service and excellent service that they provide. And I agree that ideally it should be that way. Even more ideally would be, for me anyway, and in my opinion, would be for gratuities to be taken out of the picture altogether. And obviously it can be done because Virgin Voyage does it every single sailing. So, I mean, there's just no gratuities in their price. I mean, in their thing at all. So it's something that can be done, but I also heard, and again, I don't know how true it is because I don't work for the cruise lines, but I heard the reason they charge the gratuities the way they do instead of including it has something to do with taxable incomes and what they can report and for tax breaks. And it shows somebody that's into business and knows about business accounting can probably answer that question a lot more than I can. But I've heard it has something to do with that. Is why some of them still won't go to the just this is the price of your cruise. Have fun. And be done with all of the other stuff. But again, it can be done because when they sell in other places, it's not the same.
Attila says, but NCL tax it on at the end of your ship account when you cruise or at final payment.
You can prepay them. I'm trying to think when we got the free at sea stuff, our gratuities were included, weren't they?
Yes.
I think our gratuities were included in our package with NCL. I'm almost positive that they were. But I mean, like all of them, you can prepay for all of the cruise lines out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I prepay. I don't want that hitting me at the end.
Bruce, hi, Chris and Tiffany. Hope you are both well. Sorry I'm late. I had a washy day.
So you got caught with a washing machine somewhere you weren't supposed to. That's what I heard.
I finally saw that portable washing machine, and yes, it is small enough. It compacts like this big, and you can put it in your.
Is it plug-in though?
No.
Really?
I didn't see where it plugged in.
It didn't say anything about power.
No.
So how'd you make it wash?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I saw it on Temu.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you saw it. Whether it plugs in or not would have been the question.
Yeah, I'll have to pay attention to that.
Because if it plugs into power, that's why I would say that they took it away.
Yeah.
I would say because they would have considered it along the same lines as like an iron or something like that. That's why I think they would have taken it away because it was powered.
James says, I'm looking to cruise Virgin. They sound like a fun cruise line.
They do, and we do too. The one thing I've heard about Virgin, and I've heard over and over again from multiple people, is the food on board Virgin is spectacular. I've heard that the food is good. And that's the nice thing about Virgin. The food is part of the ticket. It's pretty much as dang near all inclusive as you can get if you get their bar tab ahead of time. They don't call it a drink package. You get a bar tab.
Yeah. Jeannie was on NCL in February, was in Tortola, great place, but missed Private Island and got $50.
I've seen a lot of ships miss Great Stirrup Cay. A lot of times, I think because it's a tender port, a cruise tender port, the waves get to bumping out there. And I think that drives a lot of the ships out of Great Stirrup Cay. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, that seems to be the most common reason why they don't go to Great Stirrup Cay as often, is because the waves are right and just high enough. They become dangerous for the tenders. And so that's the one that they skip. Good news is they're building a dock out there. Great Stirrup Cay is going to get a dock. Half Moon Cay is going to get a dock as they continue to invest money in those cruise ports. So in the next couple of years, you'll see all of them with their own cruise dock out there. And I think that will stop some of those particular cancellations. And $50, it doesn't really cover the disappointment of not going to a cruise port, but I guess the other side of the coin is technically by contract they don't have to give you anything.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing makes up for the disappointment of missing something you really want to go to. But I guess $50 is better than nothing. That's probably the best way to look at that, I suppose.
Attila says, I got a note that it is prepay now, not included with free at sea anymore.
Oh, okay.
So if you're booked on NCL, double check your booking online and see if the gratuities are a part of the free at sea package deal. It might be just our cruise package we got offered.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could have changed. It was Celebrity last year that removed gratuities out of their all-included package.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't surprise me if the other ones do that. It honestly wouldn't shock me, but I think that it was in there, and I could be wrong. I've slept since we went on that cruise.
Yeah. I have seen 2 washing machines, and one is really small and the other the size of a suitcase.
Well, I think the one that they had from that particular story was one of the small ones. And Tiffany was looking because we were trying to see, what it actually looked like, or something like that would actually look like. And they are small. They can fold up pretty small, but like she said, she couldn't see whether or not it was powered. And that is what, of course, triggers the security and causes them to confiscate things, is the fact that they plug in, they're powered, and the ship's electrical systems just can't handle that. And then that's a whole video right there, because I had several people over the last couple of years ask me why, things are such fire hazards on cruise ships. And I actually had to do quite a bit of research and do some reading to figure out why that is. And yeah, there's actually a very good reason why cruise ships, I don't know what she's doing over here, why cruise ships have their things set up the way they have, why you can't have surge protectors, why you can't have irons and things like that on board. And it all has to do with the electrical wiring on the ship.
So it just shows portable, foldable washing machine. They're pretty inexpensive too, but I don't.
We have to click on it and go into it and read
It's
it.
wanting me to download the app.
Oh, well, don't do that. You could look that up on something else at some other time. But yeah, portable washing machines. It's something else. If it's not portable washing machines, it's 40 C&I dogs. It's always something.
I'm trying. It's being stupid.
All right, James, you're going to twist my arm and make me do something like that. Okay, you win. I crumbled. I held out for like a whole 5 seconds. No, Virgin Voyages is definitely on ours, and Virgin's got. I'd have to go back and look at which one I saw, but they had some really. They had one cruise from Virgin that really caught my attention. To right now, I mean, they're selling out of San Juan, at least for this season.
I don't know.
But yeah, Virgin, I think would be worth doing just to check it out. I've heard that it's wild, it's fun, the food is great, and because the crew members are a little more, they're allowed to be themselves, that they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're very engaging, and they can let their own personalities come out a lot more on Virgin. If they're weird, they're free to be weird. Type of situation, which can just make fun people to be around.
Yes.
I mean, I hang around Tiffany, and we got weird right here all day long.
Yes, we do.
So, well, what else, baby?
Okay. So
She's still
portable
looking up washing
machine, upgraded large capacity, deep clean underwater.
How is it powered?
That's what I'm looking for. Foldable.
Okay. I don't know if we're going to get this answer tonight.
And that's what it looks like.
the cameras. I don't know if they can see it on your phone.
Yeah, it's
Yes, but with my shoulder injury and surgery, it might take 6 months to. Oh yeah. No, I just meant you never know if San Juan is super popular with Virgin and they do really well. That may be something they're willing to repeat next season.
built-in 36-watt pure copper, high-power motor, high-speed operation controls, the washing rhythm, and cleaning.
That sounds like it plugs in.
Yeah, it sounds like it plugs in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get it. You got to heal, you got to recover, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that sucks. I would be like bummed. I'm bummed enough that I already have to wait till October. I am already bummed about that. But I am looking forward to the Carnival Miracle, though. And I'm looking forward to some Halloween. Tiffany is supposed to be getting ready to pick out costumes.
Uses 1 kilowatt an hour.
But it still doesn't tell me how. That doesn't tell me anything. Anyway, let's work on the live, baby.
Okay,
Let's not look at our phones right now. We'll have to study that later.
1,500 watts.
But the question is, does it go in the wall?
Well, I'm sure if it takes watts, it goes in the wall.
All right, but you got anything else?
No.
All right, I think we are going to get ready to go ahead and wrap it up. It's already been an hour. Oh, hold on, Ray.
Ray said that him and Judy did Virgin 2 years ago and it was okay, but it's a one and done for us.
It very well could be for us too.
But you got to say you did it.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, I'd like to sail out of San Juan. I would like to go to San Juan. It's been a long time since I've been to San Juan. I can't even remember it. I was a kid. So, yeah, I would absolutely love to get back to San Juan. And hopefully we will hear something about the group cruise here. Carnival says come autumn, they will release the rest of the 2026 sailings, and that's what we're waiting on for that part. But yep, I think we are going to go ahead and shut it down. It has been fun again, like always. Maybe this week we'll have some quiet cruising information. Nobody shimmying down ships. Nobody stabbing each other. No one being where they're not supposed to be. Nobody upset over seeing eye dogs. And all of the other crazy witness. Yeah, just as a little preview for this upcoming Saturday. He is mad at the way they cook his guy's burger.
Okay.
Throw that out there.
Don't eat it.
Yeah, get out of line. More for me.
So Rick says he's heading off to write his article for his column. The deadline's tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to get that one done.
Bijan said thanks for spending time with us. Great show. Ray says have a great night and cruise on.
Cruise on. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I look forward to reading your article, Rick. So I will be looking out for that. No, thank you guys for spending time with us.
Mm-hmm.
We really appreciate it. But we will see you guys next week. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we will be back next week. Do it again. See what all kinds of cruise news, cruise entertainment, and cruise funny things that we can come up with. Maybe Tiffany will have some tips from Tiffany News for you guys next week. We'll hold her to it. We'll hold her little feet to the fire. What do you think?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Good evening, y'all. Have a week. Guys, Burger Man, I need one now.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some pizza.
They've been talking stories about Guy's Burgers the last couple of days in the cruise news. Guy's Burgers have been coming up. And yet I have now been thinking about Guy's Burgers for like days now.
Yes.
I am seriously craving a Guy's Burger.
Just Cody says, thank you.
No, you guys are absolutely welcome. We really appreciate everybody being here. And of course, like always,
We'll see you out on the high seas.
good night, everybody.